Oh, great. Now, so I'm sure it takes a lot of planning to plan a big event like that.
It does.
So when do they start planning
Well, they
that?
start doing that every year. About the beginning of the year, they plan out what they're trying to do because, you know, lots of information, lots of things. And Nick Barbatti and Dave Keenan and their student staff really spend a lot of time doing that, and they always do a great job. And we also appreciate to Aramark, who you know, really works with us on the menu.
I know, I love that catered food, I have to say. So also we have on Rider, not only do we celebrate things that are going on with the students on campus, but the students that have just gotten admitted. So we have the Admitted Students Days, which kind of it brings students on campus who will be joining us in the fall, and it shows them the kind of the campus and the programs that we have here. So we have an Admitted Students Day approaching. How important are those days to the university?
Well, they're very important to us. You know, these are students who've been admitted. They're obviously students we want to come to Rider. We feel like they fit into our community. And students at these days are making choices. You know, they're making choices between Rider and another school.
Yeah.
They're also making choices, you know, trying to find out about their financial aid. These days are very important. We want them to understand our community. So we have them meet faculty members. We have them meet students like you and go and come into the studios and see what they can do. And so it really is a day where, you know, sort of the idea of closing the deal. You know, we want them to come to campus, and so we want to make sure that they understand who we are as a community. Because the most important part of any community is, do you feel like you can belong?
Yeah.
You know, can you fit in? By this time in the game, they know we have good academics. They know that the faculty are good. So students are looking at, you know, how do I fit in? How do I make my mark?
Yeah, I can understand that because I know when I was a prospective student, I came to the Admitted Students Day and I loved the campus. I fell in love with it, and that made my mind up that day.
That's great to hear.
So yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Good.
So also, we students will be seeing advertisements. I know I've seen a few for the 2010 census. So now that's important to make sure that we take part in that because it's important for the funding of the township. It is.
It's important because they get grants and they have money based on the numbers, and the university is part of those numbers. That transforms into public transportation, how much we get for economic development. And so it really is helpful to the township. We're actually going to make it real easy for the students. We have examiners coming in here for the U.S. Census Bureau, and we're actually going to have them, they're going to actually fill out the forms for the students based on our records. So you're not going to have people running to your dorms, knocking on the door and that. So they're actually going to come to our records for we have it all in our residence hall files.
Yeah.
So they're going to be able to fill out the papers and get it all done without having to bother the students all that much.
I appreciate that. Yeah. That's great. Thanks. Well, okay, so one of our competition shows here on the Rider University Networks, Rider Real Time actually recently won a Telly Award. So that's wonderful.
Great.
I'm proud.
That's great.
So the Rider Real Time and Candid Campbell are shows that pretty much explain to students what's new on campus. And how important is that?
Well, Nick Barbatti will tell you that his show is very important, and he's been showing me his telly all the time because I haven't gotten one. But I think these shows are important. From my perspective, the reason I like to do this is I want to keep students informed. And I want them to hear what's going on, understand if they have questions. You know, like you ask wonderful questions about what's going on, so they can get good information. You know, so many times it's in the rumor mill, and the rumor mill is not always the most accurate.
Yeah.
So if we can give students good information, they can make good decisions, and it helps our community. And Nick is just an entertainer. Yeah. So he's got lots of energy. I'm real proud of his show.
Oh, well, me too. And I know I'm very appreciative to have you on the show because it's kind of like an ambassador between the institution and the students. So that's real great.
This is my own face to nation.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, with Dean Campbell. So now commencement is coming up. Anything new with that? Do we have any kind of announcements or any kind of preparation?
There's a lot of preparations going on. I know they just met to look at the commencement speaker for the student speaker. They're looking at, we're waiting to hear back from our commencement speaker that we're going to have for both the undergraduate and the graduate things, but lots and lots of stuff going on.
Wow, I bet.
Seniors are getting excited. It's always a fun time because they, you know, it's a culmination of all their success, and parents love it and come back. So it's a fun day, you know.
Oh, great.
And we're looking for it. But it's a lot of planning goes into it. Bev Braddock, who runs and coordinates the whole thing out of the president's office, and she works very, very hard. She starts the day after commencement. She starts planning for the next year. So it's a busy time. We'll have over 10,000 people on campus for that.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that would be huge. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week, and we want to thank you so much again for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
And we had a wonderful time, as always. So make sure you tune in once again for our newest episode of Candid Campbell. Thank you, guys.